Hi, I'm Mike and welcome to the channel. On the bench today is a pair of Seiko Kinetic watches. These watches were tucked away in a plastic bag under the counter in an antique store with two other watches, all marked not working. If you're new to the channel, let me tell you that that's the kind of excitement that gets my blood pumping and my imagination spinning, especially if I could get a good deal. I bought all four of these watches for $50. The LCD Seiko I've restored and it came out great. I'll put a link to that video up above. The Hamilton still needs a hairspring straightening and a new crystal, but is otherwise serviced and ready to be put back together. So that leaves these two Kinetic watches from the late 80s or early to mid 90s. Generically, this type of watch is known as an automatic quartz movement. They use a quartz crystal for accuracy, but it contains a rotor, like an automatic watch, that generates electricity to recharge the battery, eliminating the need for replacing the cell every couple of years. But nothing lasts forever, and even these watches need a battery change every 10 to 15 years. Fully charged, these watches can run continuously, between 2 weeks and 6 months, depending on the model. So let's pull them apart, take a closer look, and see if we can clean them up and fix them up, which is what I do on this channel. I want to know if these rechargeable batteries need replacing. So I want to wear the watch a little bit, see if that charges them up to see if the battery really does need a replacement. But right now, these watches are filthy. So I want to see if I can get the movement out and throw all the hardware in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I'll put it all together. I'm just not comfortable even putting these on my wrist, as dirty as they are. You can see on this one, you see how the second hand is skipping around? That's what happens when the battery gets low. And then if we just kind of wind it up and we take another look at it, see with that extra little bit of juice, now the watch second hand is running 1 second at a time. And we can get something similar, I think, with this watch. Let's see if this does the trick. So now both second hands are running 1 tick at a time. So I think there might be some potential, but like I say, I want to get these cleaned up so I can wear them without being grossed out and, just keep them on for several hours and see if that recharges the battery enough for them to run consistently. These are both proprietary bracelets, and they're not held in place by spring bars. They're held in place with pins. If I can get the bracelet opened up, then I can take off the back. And if I can take off the back, then I can take out the movement and just throw the whole darn thing right into the ultrasonic. That feels springy. Okay, so that one's open. And now let's see, do we have a good place to break this one? Don't know if the camera's picking it up, but that's really dirty. Looking forward to getting this into the ultrasonic. So I could just pop this open at one of the sizing pins. But let me get my link tool and we'll just break it that way. Nothing too fancy. And on the back of this, it has arrows that shows you the direction that you're supposed to pop the links out. So we'll pop it in this direction. And since I'm not trying to resize it, I'll just pick a link, any link. Let's see if I can show that to the camera. Okay, so there's our link, which we can now pull free. And that opens up the bracelet. Great. And now we can open up both of the backs. Okay, no success using the yellow sticky ball, so I've taken out the watch back remover. Now we'll tighten down. Wow, it's really on there, but it comes off. That's one. This case is a little bit smaller. It needs to be a little tighter. I would guess that the owner wore these watches in the shower. So there we go. Okay, this did its job. And you can just see the soap scum or whatever that is just coming out of every corner of the case. This movement, 5M42A, 5M62A. So we have a 42A in the gold watch and a 62A in the mostly silver watch. My next order of business is taking out the winding stems, and I'm just going to put this aside right now. And where is the release? Yep, that was it. Winding stem out. Now is this going to come? I know we've got that little pusher button. There we go. We convinced it. And I wonder if I can coax out this chapter ring. I can. Good. So with that out now, I believe everything remaining can go into the ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, one down. Press down lightly, and he's out. And he is volunteering himself. That's a very nice dial. And is there a chapter ring in here? No, it doesn't appear so. Just lots of gunky, grimy goo. And while we're in here, pop out our gasket. Great, completely washable. This is like licorice. Completely flat. I wonder if it started like that. Can you see that little circle on the inside of the crystal? I thought that the coating or something went bad on this crystal because it was very hazy, but I think that that's just some kind of off-gassing that plasticized the inside of the crystal, because when I just wiped it with my finger, it came right off. This crystal still has some scratches there on the face, and we'll have to talk about what our options are. All right. Technically, this isn't pegwood. This is bamboo chopstick that I just made like a screwdriver tip to. Being that I do suspect a lot of this is soap, I think I'm going to run it under the sink, under some hot water, and just hit it up with a toothbrush before even putting it in the ultrasonic. That has worked well for me in the past, and I shall give it a try again. Oh, this is always a fun place to clean. And of course, if this watch case had conventional lugs, conventional bracelet or band, then getting in between those lugs is one of those similar places that gets really dirty. We're back from the wash. Everything came out great. You wouldn't believe how much black stuff came up in the suds just cleaning this. I cleaned this with a nylon bristle brush and dish soap in the laundry sink before bringing it to the ultrasonic. And now it's all nice and clean. 15 minutes in a heated ultrasonic, and everything's looking great. So I'm going to recase both of these watches and then wear them and see if wearing them is enough to make the that battery recharge reliably. I am wondering, are the modules interchangeable? So the stems are the same. The crowns, one of them is slightly smaller than the other. I believe that the business end of the stem is the same configuration for both of these modules, both of these movements. So can we switch them? Can we flip them? Will it look good if we do? Let's try. So this chapter ring, there's one mark in here that doesn't have a cutout, and that goes at the 6. There's our 6. Drop this in. There's a little cutout there to go past the pusher. These pushers, by the way, tell you how much power reserve you have, like when it needs charging. Since that cutout is probably 3 o'clock, I'll index that on the crown tube. All right, just for giggles, let's see if these both use the same size movement case, and then we'll have a look at what it looks like, if it looks okay or if it looks ridiculous. No. Okay, so I just got my answer. That just looked stupid. Huh. Yeah, that won't work. We're not going to mess around. And we'll get them wound up. Ah, there we go. All right, I'm going to go out and swing my arms, get my steps in. All right, that was invigorating. Now we'll see how long the charge lasts. And let's try that battery reserve button. Let's see if it does anything. Huh, it's only moving forward like 5 seconds. How about this one? What does this do? Okay, so that one moved up by the 11. Yeah, that one's only moving forward like 4 seconds at a time. Between you and me, I'm willing to bet this one's going to need a new battery. This one's questionable. We'll see. You might say, oh, what's the big deal? Just throw in a new battery, Mike. You already have to open it to put another gasket in. Well, these batteries are like between $15 and $20 a piece. So, you know, just simple economics. I don't know if I want to spend $20 on a battery for a $12 watch. But I got to tell you, I like them both. I do think the style on both of these is kind of unique. The appeal increased so much when I cleaned these up. If I can get the scuff out of the crystal on this watch, I think that will be leaps and bounds a good thing. Oh, and this one has a party trick that I didn't know about. Here, let me see if I could show this to you. So check this out. Turn off some lights. This watch, the entire dial is luminous. It's a glow-in-the-dark dial. This has no lume. This one glows like crazy, and I didn't even know it until I went out in the sunlight. So the chapter ring does not glow, but the entire dial does. All right, let's see how they fare, and let's see which one is going to require a new battery, or as they call it, a capacitor, because it's rechargeable. Well, folks, I think I've received my answer. As you can see, the white watch has stopped, and it looks like it stopped just a little bit after 1 p.m. It's currently closer to 2 p.m., and the silver watch with the black face is still going strong. So let's let this one continue to run, and we'll see how quickly this runs out of juice. And I think that we gave it a good workout today. Obviously, this one just isn't holding a charge. I've placed an order for a replacement battery, aka capacitor, because it's rechargeable, for this watch. And right now what I want to do is address the bad crystal on here. I don't know how much success I'm going to have trying to polish the glass crystal on this watch. So I'm going to pop it out and take some measurements and see if I have a replacement, or at least something similar, and then see if I need to order something. So right now that's what we're going to do. We're going to take out the movement so I can safely remove the crystal and measure it up and try to get a replacement. That took no pressure at all. And let's see, is there a gasket in here? Yes, I think there is. 29.01. That side is flat, that side is domed. So the crystal right in the center is about 2.2 millimeters thick. And at the edge, we're looking at about 1.2 millimeters right at the edge. It's a domed crystal that magnifies slightly. And the gasket looks fine. It's not broken, it's not discolored. So my plan is to reuse that gasket. I'm going to go back to the web and see what's out there, see how close I can come. And through the power of editing, here's what I found. I ordered some crystals from Esslinger.com. Let's see what we got. There's some 2 millimeter thick crystals, got some 1.5s, and then I got a domed crystal. But I couldn't get a domed crystal that was as thin as the crystal on that watch, so I ended up getting a thicker domed crystal. So between all of these crystals, we can probably come up with something that works in that watch. Piece of trivia, Esslinger sends small parts in this box. Pretty nice little folding container. But what are those two little nubs for in the box? If you know, leave your answer in the comments below. I'll tell you later in the video. Scratched crystal, out with the old. All right, this is the 2 millimeter thick flat crystal. The movement is loosely screwed into the case. And of course it's sitting up high. So when you look straight down on the watch, it's kind of WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So pretty clear view of the dial. That'll work fine. And then we would just need to fine tune whether we want the 2 millimeter thickness or the 1.5 millimeter thickness. Here is my domed crystal. That is a fat boy right there. Can you see it magnifying when I hold it over the dial? I think I like this one just because of that slight visual effect that the magnifier is giving on the dial. I'm going to try to put this in, and we'll see how low we can get it to settle into the case. That's my only concern, is since this one is so thick, I don't want it sticking ridiculously high up in the case, but we'll give this one a try first. We have a die where the case will sit flat. Let's get this as clean as we can. And this is going in rather unevenly. It's a little bit more difficult to spin it and get even pressure with the bracelet still attached, but we'll accommodate. All right, let's take a closer look. Well, it's evenly seated, but it just looks like that crystal's up too high. Yeah, I don't like seeing that much edge, and I think that crystal's going to catch on something. First time that thing catches on something, I think it's going to take a chip out of the corner of that crystal. This crystal is just too thick. So let's pop it back out, and we'll try one of the flat ones. I think we might want to just try putting in one of the 1.5 flat crystals in this watch. So let's see if we can just pop him out. There we go, he's out. Okay, save him for another day, perhaps for another watch. I'm going to try the 1.5 291 or 29.1. And the reason I'm going to go up to the 29.1 was that 29.0 went in and out extremely easily. I think maybe that extra 1/10 of a millimeter will keep him in just a little bit more tightly. So that's what we're going to try. Well, I can tell you right now that going with the thinner crystal, going with the 1.5 millimeter thick crystal, that was the right thing to do. It is sitting just barely proud of the case. So far, it looks like we were able to use the existing gasket, that plastic gasket that was in there. It didn't get scrunched, it didn't pop out, it didn't bend. Are we good for this crystal to last us a lifetime? I think we are. Let's recase the watch. We'll size up a gasket, get some lubricant on it, and get the back on. No, actually, you know what we'll do first? First, we're going to put in the winding stem. Let's get a measurement on this gasket. 29.75. I'm going to go with 29. I like to go down a size just to let it stretch into place. All right, we'll get some slippery stuff on there. And let the gasket wrestling match begin. Come on now. Oh, yeah. Look at those indices sparkle. You know, between the sparkle of the indices and that sunray dial, I don't think I'm really going to miss having that domed crystal on this watch. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Give it a final cleanup, and we'll get that spring bar back in place. Good. One down, and I'm really pleased with how this came out. I think that crystal looks great. Oh, and the answer to my question before, what is this? I'm willing to bet that my older viewers knew right away. Bam! Compact cassette. Those little pins are to keep the tape from unreeling when in transit. So, good for us, Slinger, making use of compact cassette cases. Let's get a new battery in this guy. Let's secure him. I'm going to pause out and get my finger cuts on. Step 1. Let's get this rotor out of the way. Green, 200. Now, according to the instructions, this screw is held in tighter than normal, tighter than you would expect. I can give you a closer look at this. Oh, that lifted off easily. Okay, so there's a raised section here, and that points up. It comes out of the way, and it looks to me like this battery has been out before. How are we doing on screwdriver size? Yeah, we need to come down. Let's come down about 2. How's that? And which screwdriver is this? That is my 140. So now there's a cover plate and there's an insulator. There we go. Cover plate comes off. That is the orientation. And now we can remove the insulator. There's our capacitor or battery. We've got those 2 little legs there. And let's see, where do we want to grab him by? 1369. This is an MT920. So as you can see, this connector is spot welded onto the minus side of the battery. Battery is out. So we have an insulator, we have the battery, we have the little clip that holds it down, and we'll just use all the new parts. A bag in a bag in a bag. Or are we up to bag in a bag in a bag in a bag? A bag in a bag in a bag in a bag next to a bag. Let's grab our little insulator. Now one of the things that I've been warned against is don't short circuit the top to the bottom of the battery. So we want to settle that point on that contact. There we go. Now it's settling in. We needed to make sure that those two contacts were touching the edge of the battery. Now we have our insulator. Okay, massage him into place. There we go. It kind of settles in once you massage it, and there's some tension there. And I just hope it doesn't catapult when we go to set our screws. I kind of did that a little bit backwards. I usually do the screwdriver with my right hand, but that worked. It's nice to practice working with your non-dominant hand every now and then, right? Okay, where'd he go? There he is. As you're learning watchmaking, you're going to lose parts. One of the best pieces of advice I can give you is hold real still and take a good look around you. There's a good chance that the part you lost, if it's a screw, it's going to follow the laws of gravity. If it's a spring, it's going to want to jump. And the best thing you could do is just sort of like freeze and just do a meticulous visual, starting close to where the part was and then expanding your search range. I've found parts that have gotten stuck to my hand or gotten hung up in my arm hair. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. You're going to lose a part. And just be cool, be calm. Last thing you want to do is throw your hands up in frustration. Just leave your hands there. It might be stuck to your hands, might be stuck to your tool. Enough talking about lost parts. Take a look at how nicely everything comes back together. If you're interested, on the Seiko website, Seiko is a very generous company when it comes to making their service manuals available. And you can get the complete service guide for these movements. And in fact, they provide instructions on how to completely disassemble and service these movements. So I'm just doing a quick check here with the rotor loosely in place. I just want to make sure that the wheel below it is engaging that smaller pinion. So the big wheel is turning that small wheel, and then you can see him spinning. So now all that's left to do is screw down the rotor. And compared to those other screws, this is a big, beefy screw. And I can tell from the little marks on that screw that this is not the first time someone has been in here changing out the battery. That would be my guess. Okay, the instructions say turn that very firmly. So there we go. We can get the case back on this watch once we get a new gasket in place. So the rotor's turning and the watches ticking in 1 second increments, which is exactly what we wanted to see. This watch, when fully charged, they say can go for half a year once it has a full charge. This one, not so much, more like a couple of weeks. So the only thing I need to do now is reconnect the bracelet with the link that I broke so I could lay the watch flat. And speaking of a link that I broke, I literally broke that link. The little pin split in two. It's just like a folded pin. So I grabbed this one from another watch. It looks to be about the same. So I'm just going to try to put that in now and see if it works. Good. We're flush on both sides. Well, I'm really happy with how this project turned out on both of these watches. So let's draw this video to a conclusion. I want to let you know how much I appreciate you spending your time with me. My name is Mike. The channel is Watch with Mike. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next episode. And as always, I look forward to seeing your comments in the space below. Be good, be well, be safe, and I look forward to our next time together.
Oh, that was a really dramatic episode.
Yeah, I thought that it wasn't going to happen. When I saw that you were working, but I still wasn't working, I got upset.
Yeah, well, I was confident. I just knew that you'd play catch-up, so I wasn't too worried.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, I hope the audience enjoyed seeing us get repaired.
Yeah, I hope they did too. Even though we're old technology, we still have a soul, we still have a heart. We still can be a valuable fashion statement in today's society when everyone checks their time on cell phones.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed it. Okay.
Why don't we sign off?
All right.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.